30 minutes or so. Let's see what we've got. We've got Pflugerville just prior to 9. The eastern fringes of the storm will be in Pflugerville, closer to 9. I'm going to go ahead and put the boxes up to kind of show you. We've got Pflugerville closer to 9. We've got McNeil just after 9. The Domain just prior to 9:30. So if you're watching this closely right now, we could have some pretty destructive hail making its way into the Round Rock area. So definitely a dangerous situation starting to unfold over portions of southern sections of Williamson County. This thing really blew up in the past hour because about an hour ago we were looking at around pea-sized hail, but now we are looking at upwards of baseball-sized hail, maybe even grapefruit, tennis ball-sized hail. Man, it is definitely a very, very, very large hail we're seeing here. We're looking at the radar estimates again. This is just west of Main Street, just north of Old Settlers Boulevard in Round Rock. We are looking right now, and we're about to go on here momentarily, and we're going to have more details for you as we head throughout the course of the evening. And so we're going to be live on at around 9:01, and we've just received a viewer photo of quarter-sized hail in Georgetown, and I'm going to go ahead and share that real quick with the National Weather Service so that they can report that. You know, we're really starting to see that take place. So you're going to see a black screen real quick before we move to the wall, and I'm going to be going on the wall here shortly. So we're going to be on KVUE here in the next little bit with the latest on this storm because we've got some very destructive hail, and we've just been told that the warning has been upgraded to softball-sized hail. Yes, so the directors just said we're ready, and I'm ready as well. So you're going to see some black screen, and then we're going to be live on KVUE momentarily. Hello everyone, meteorologist Jordan Darensberg here, and we are tracking this very, very large hail core right there just to the north of Round Rock, and I'm going to move this computer screen a little bit off so I could show you exactly what we're talking about here. This is a very, very large hail core, and the severe thunderstorm warning has been upgraded to softball-sized hail literally just a minute ago. And so we're going to show you exactly what we're talking about with the size of this hail. This is getting to be pretty destructive hail, folks. Around 3.2 inches in diameter. That's about grapefruit size. And this is the type of hail that can literally bust the windows out of your car. So you want to make sure you have your car covered as well as have it under a carport. And also for yourself, make sure that you are inside away from windows because the windows of houses, roofs are going to be damaged. Any livestock or cattle that are outside in this hail could be injured as well. So you want to make sure you're taking all the necessary precautions to protect yourself as this hail takes place. Now we're going to zoom this out a little bit for you because the track is going to be very important. It is moving south at around 15 miles an hour, and this storm is expected to have a severe thunderstorm warning expire at 9:45. Now we're going to zoom this out here, and we're going to show you how long this track is going to be. And we're looking at Wells Branch at 9:06, Dessaw at 9:17. Those are two neighborhoods in North Austin near Pflugerville, and the Domain just prior to 9:30. Now Q2 Stadium is right by there, and we've also received word that there is a lightning delay at Q2 for that match against LA Galaxy, And for very, very good reason, because we have a very, very large hail core that has really caused some problems. We've had multiple reports. This storm has a history of golf ball size hail and maybe even baseball size hail being reported as well. And so we're going to take a look and check NWS chat to see if we've got any more particular issues here. So we've got hail of around 1.1 3/4 inches in diameter. I shared a viewer photo of quarter size hail in Georgetown. That's what we've seen so far. And we're starting to see some of those yellows now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this and we're going to zoom in a little bit more on this, because this looks like even bigger hail associated with this storm. And it's right there. It's right along Old Settlers Boulevard, just west of I-35. So if you're near Somerset Park, if you're near the Baylor Scott and Wright Round Rock campus, if you're west of the YMCA in Round Rock, if you're near Faith Missionary Baptist Church, this is where we're probably seeing some of the most destructive hail right now. And let's take a look at the diameter. Let's see the size of this hail. And it is, look at this. This might be a bit of an exaggeration, 5.4 inches, but still, this would be very, very destructive hail. This is very large hail. That's hail that's about as big as my face almost. So you want to really take all of the necessary precautions to make sure that you are inside, away from windows, and that your vehicle is adequately protected. Regardless of your size, if you have like a smaller compact car that can fit in a garage, excuse me here, that's great. But if you have like those large pickup trucks with those very large wheels, you want to make sure that if you have that cover that can sufficiently cover from hail, you want to make sure you're doing that, especially if you're south of Round Rock. So if you're in Pflugerville, if you're in Wells Branch, and you could even make the argument for North Austin near the Domain, you want to make sure that you are taking any and all precaution to make sure that you are protected and your vehicles and all your property are protected, because this can definitely cause damages to windows as well as other parts of your vehicle. So you want to pay attention to this very, very closely. Now we're going to zoom out because we do have a couple of other warnings we do need to talk about. But first, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you this light show that I've been looking at all night from the Kalahari Resorts and Convention Skyline weather camera. Doesn't look like we have that light show right now. It looks like the camera is starting to stop and start again, because we've really got that. There it is. There's that light show with all this frequent lightning. And we haven't really heard much about hail in this particular area, because I'm going to show you the hail core in relation to the Kalahari Resort. But first, what I want to show y'all are a couple of other warnings that we do have. We have one until 9:30 for Gillespie. Looks like that's about to make its way out of the KVUE viewing area. And another one for Eastern Williamson. And that includes Taylor, and that's till 9:45. But it looks like this storm is going to stay more into Milam County area west of Cameron. So places like Thorndale, that's probably going to be until 9:45 as well. However, we're really watching this one right about here, and it's right on top of Round Rock. And Del Diamond is just well off to the east of where the main hail core is. And it looks like the hail core is about to make its way into Round Rock proper. Now, the Kalahari Resort is right across 79 from Del Diamond. So it's not getting a whole lot of the hail according to our radar estimation right now. But look at this. Some of the larger hail is about to cross Highway 45 as well, getting close to that toll road. So Gaddis School Road, if you're on Gaddis School Road just east of 35, if you're along McNeil Road, you've got that very large hail core about to make its way towards you. So you need to make sure if you're anywhere along McNeil Road, you need to have that car in the garage right now. Like, Don't wait any longer because that large hail could be coming down any second, and that could be your windshields busted open as a result of this. So you want to really pay attention to that closely. Now, we're also looking at Wells Branch, and we're starting to see some of that larger hail make its way into the Wells Branch area as well. So just around North Creek Park near the Austin Raceway Park, right there where 35 and 45 meet, that's a major intersection here in town. So the Windmere area near Piccadilly Drive and Green Lawn Boulevard, that's where we're starting to see some of that larger hail as well. So if you're along McNeil Road, Green Lawn Boulevard, if you're just north of Shoreline Drive on Farm to Market 1325, you need to make sure you get those cars in the garage immediately. Also, if you're on Hester's Crossing Road, near Bluebonnet Elementary, that's where we're going to start to see a lot of that hail start to really come down. And it's going to be pretty sizable hail too. It's not like pea-size, quarter-size hail. We're talking about sizable hail that could be approaching Round Rock proper. Now, starting to see some good news. We are starting to see some signs of weakening over this particular scan compared to the last couple. So good news on that front. However, still very large hail associated with this storm. It's moving to the south at 10 miles an hour, and I am going to put an estimate on the size of the hail here, still around 2.8, so still baseball sized roughly. And it's expected to make its way south, and it's moving south at around 10 miles an hour. And as we zoom this out just a little bit, we're going to start to really see places like the Domain, Walnut Forest get involved, maybe even Camp Mabry. Again, this is moving to the south at around 15 miles an hour. And let's look at this. This is over the next, I'm going to do 55 minutes. So the Domain at 9:16, the Arboretum at around 9:22, right at around the KVUE studios at around 9:27, as well as DKR Texas Memorial Stadium. If you're near downtown Austin, you've got time getting up to around 9:48 and 9:55, but just prior to 9:30, looks like the cell will pass just east of the KVUE studios. So if you're along Mopac, I would still watch this, but it's looking more like it's going to try and stay along the I-35 corridor. So if you're in the city of Austin and this is you're along the I-35 corridor, you need to start making those preparations now to getting those cars in that garage to avoid some of the largest hail that we may have seen in a bit. Now, it's pretty much splitting 35 and Mopac in a sense. So if you're east of Mopac, definitely want to make sure you keep those cars in the garage. Now, we're starting to see some pretty nice imagery as well coming from our Zach Theater skyline at weather camera. So we're going to take a quick look and we're going to kind of show you what we're talking about right there. Look at that. Right there, you're starting to see a really good picture of those winds picking up out ahead of that storm. And there you see that frequent lightning associated with that. And we're going to see if there's another good sight. Let's see if our tower cam perhaps can give us another very, very good look. And we're going to need to turn it possibly a little bit to kind of see it because it's looking east and not necessarily looking north, but you do still see a couple of those lightning strikes. And so let's see what we've got associated with this particular storm here. Let's see what other updates we've got. We've got several reports now. We've got Sunrise in Bowman and Round Rock. We've got golf ball size hail, and the rain rate's getting up to around 2¼ inches an hour. Now, the rain we really need. The rain we really need because we are in a drought, of course. But we can't really say the same for hail. We don't need the severe weather, but we could use a lot of the beneficial rainfall. And as we zoom it back down, we're kind of showing you just a really pretty, not so pretty picture here. There it is. There's that storm we're talking about. Starting to see some of that outer edge of this system make its way into Travis County And there you see those pinks there depicting some of that larger hail in western sections of Round Rock, and it's about to cross Highway 45 right about now. And so we're going to take a look again at this hail core to see what the hail core is now saying. We're starting to see it pulse up a little bit again, and we're really starting to see it pulse up right as it's getting ready to get to Wells Branch. And so it's passing just off to the north of the domain. So if you're by the domain, if you're by Q2 Stadium right there near Metric Boulevard in the Austin Community College North Campus, and you've got Breaker Lane right there, you want to make sure that you are inside and your car is safely covered. Now, we're looking at hail size still getting to around 3 inches. So very, very large hail still over portions of southern Williamson County. It looks like it's about to cross into Travis County. It's going to pass just to the east of Jollyville. It's going to pass just off to the east of Jollyville. Let's see who else could be in the line. We've got Duval Road near the domain, Breaker Lane, that's where Q2 Stadium is, on toward Walnut Forest. If you're near Walnut Forest, if you're near Connolly High School, John B. Connolly High School, that's where we're going to start to see some of that largest hail that we've seen. We've got some more reports now coming in from Hester's Crossing and I-35 near Round Rock. 7 minutes straight of golf ball hail with limbs coming down and street signs that are damaged, and it's causing vehicles to become undrivable, and it's causing vehicles to slide a little bit. So road conditions are starting to deteriorate along I-35. So that's why I'm saying stay off the roads right now. If you're on I-35 in North Austin, near Round Rock, between Round Rock and North Austin, you need to make sure you're staying off the roadways. And even in Austin proper, you want to make sure you are staying off of the roads as a result of this very, very strong thunderstorm that's created a very large hail core. Now, let me see this. We've got a couple of images there. Well, my girlfriend just got some photos of some pretty strong hail that's looks like it's damaged some of her windshield a little bit. And we're going to really see some of that. But here's the good news. So we got some good news. It looks like the hail has started to diminish a little bit, but it's really started to pulsate up the last time we talked about it. So we're starting to see some little bit of weakening. So good news on that particular front. But we're looking at the Emerson parking lot, an inch of hail sustained around 172 and Highway 45. Looks like it's now crossing 45 and the hail core has started to weaken just a little bit. So good news on that front. Still got a hail core getting to around 2.9 to nearly 3 inches of hail in diameter. That's still baseball size, still very, very large hail associated with it. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this track one more time because we've got around 50 minutes left. Not 50 minutes left, but I've scragged it out 50 minutes is what I should say. But this is until 9:45. But I wouldn't be surprised if this got extended because this storm is about to make its way into the domain in the next few minutes. And we just heard a big lightning strike, a big clap of thunder right outside of our studios. The Arboretum about a minute later, and the KVUE studios about 5 minutes after that. Looks like we're going to have the western edge of the system make it through the KVUE studio before making it to Camp Mabry and DKR at around 9:45. And it's not going to make it to downtown Austin until 9:55 before making it to Del Valley by the time we get to 10:04. So we're going to continue to watch this very, very closely while we take a look at a couple of those other warnings that we do want to mention as well. As we zoom it out a little bit, we do have a slight hail core over portions of eastern Mylan County, and the hail core is starting to move out of Gillespie County as well, a very weak one. But again, we've got this very large hail core about to cross, it's right on 35 at Palmer Lane. So if you are on 35 at Palmer Lane, you need to make sure that you are inside and away from all the windows, because we're starting to see a pulse up again right as it gets ready to head towards Walnut Forest. And there you see Walnut Forest right about there. And if you're in the Walnut Forest area, if you live by the 183-35 interchange, it's about to cross that intersection of 183 and 35. That's where we're going to start to see a lot of that large hail make its way through. And so we're going to zoom it out again, and we're going to update the timeline because it's about to make its way to the KVUE studio right about now. So it's going to be about, let's see, 15 minutes. So the KVUE studios again at 9:21. So in the next couple of minutes here, we should start to get a little bit of that hail core. And we're starting to see some hail at the Domain, and I think there's about to be some hail at Q2 Stadium as well, because the Q2 Stadium very close to the Domain as well. It's right on the corner of Kramer and Metric Boulevard, around that particular area. So there's Q2 right in there. Looks like the largest of the hail is going to miss that, but you're still going to get a good size hail of around golf ball size near Metric Boulevard, just off to the east, just north of Howard Lane. Actually, just south of Howard Lane, I should say, excuse me. But really starting to see some very large hail near Indian Mound Drive, the Tien Hao Temple, Dillingham Lane, Canyon Ridge Drive. Looks like the hail core shifted a little off to the west, but it started to weaken a little bit. So we're going to watch this very, very closely. And we got some reports in Wells Branch of some hail. Excuse the loud video there for a second, but we're seeing some video. It looks like we got some smaller hail that's made its way through. Looks like it was in Wells Branch. It was from one of our photojournalists, Dennis Thomas, that hopefully we could get that shared, whether, if it not on air, maybe on our online channels as well. Green Lawn and 45, we now have P to golf ball size hail being reported. We've got multiple reports now of larger hail, so it is a very, very dangerous situation. Hail of about 1 inch in diameter being reported. We're looking at multiple reports of hail getting up to around 1 inch, 1 3/4, even 2-inch hail being associated with it as well. We've got still that severe warning storm that's being continued now for us in the Austin Metro. Looks like it's going to try and make a run mainly to the southeast. So if it makes a run kind of to the southeast, we're going to update that timeline of it a little bit more. And we're looking mainly more so toward the airport now. And I wouldn't be surprised if a ground stop were issued, because it's looking like Del Valley getting close to 956 is where we could see that storm making its way through. Again, hail core looked like it's weakening for a second, but the last time we said it, it started strengthening up again. So we're going to really pay attention to see if this hail core starts to strengthen up. And we've had multiple reports of hail, and we've had multiple reports of hail getting to around golf ball size. Now, directors, if y'all can hear me, hopefully if we got any video of any of the larger hail from earlier tonight that we can share, then we'll be happy to share that, because we've got quite a bit of reports of it right now. And we've got baseball size reports, we've got golf ball size reports up and down everywhere you look, especially over portions of Williamson County. So definitely a dangerous situation, and it's about to pass right by the KVUE studio. It's going to pass just off to the east of the KVUE studios, but if you're around DKR, if you're near DKR, you need to make sure your car's in the garage. I know some of you students at the University of Texas live around that stadium, and because the campus is right there as well. So you want to make sure you are in a safe spot and your car is properly covered, because that is a very dangerous situation for your vehicle to have that window be busted by this hail. Now we have another scan. Looks like things are starting to weaken again, and that's good. But we've had some very, very large hail just pass through Round Rock and Georgetown. I can go ahead and give Round Rock and Georgetown the all clear from the hail. We still have the watch until 11. And oh, by the way, I do want to mention this that I think is pretty important in this respect, is that we have the severe thunderstorm watch until 11, and that includes Austin now because of that area of storms, that very large hail that we have been seeing. Now, let's get back to, but first, let's go ahead and I'm going to step off just for a second, and I'm going to see if I could turn that camera, unless that camera is really going to show a lot of that lightning right there as is. But we're looking at a camera shot of downtown. That's from our tower cam, and I'm going to point it a little bit off towards where the storm is, and I'm going to show you guys exactly the light show that is going on, just to show you the strength of this thunderstorm. I mean, look at that. That is over North Austin. That is a very large self cloud right out there ahead of that storm, and it's just a very, very strong storm with a whole bunch of hail associated with it. Now, what I do also want to show you with this is we're going to take a slice through this storm, and we're going to show you how tall these cloud tops are once we get down to it. Because remember, a lot of these storms with the large hail have very high cloud tops, and we're going to see if I'm going to be able to do that necessarily here. Let's take a slice through this storm, and we're really going to start to see it here. We're going to zoom this out for you so that y'all can see it a little bit better. And we're looking at around between 30 to 40, maybe even the highest cloud tops are getting to around 40 to almost 50,000 feet in the air. So that indicates a very strong updraft. And when you have such strong updrafts like that, that's what's conducive to that very large hail. Now, the good news is, look at the timestamp right there. It says 9:25, about to be 9:26. And so that means the sun will have set. And while it's dangerous to drive at night with hail, the daytime heating is going to start being lost, and we're going to start to see these storms slowly start to simmer down as we head throughout the course of the evening. Now, I do want to show you guys real quick our current temperatures while we're at this, because we've got some very strong storms, and that's because we've got temperatures right now at Camp Mabry in the lower 90s. Now, if you still have temperatures that warm, that's still quite a bit of instability. That's still quite a bit of energy for the storms, especially when you have that moisture. That creates what's called CAPE, which is a measure of energy that is in the atmosphere, and that measure of energy was high enough to still create some of those stronger thunderstorms. So we're going to watch that very, very closely. And once that system moves through, and our chief meteorologist, Hunter Williams, he's just pulled up, because this has been a very, very interesting situation that we've had, and I'm glad that he's in. He's going to get set up here momentarily, but first we're going to take a look at this hail core once again, because I mean this hail core, it has just been gnarly. A lot of the reports that we have been seeing with this hail core, it is over portions. The heaviest hail, the largest hail is just east of the KVUE studios. It's now over Walnut Forest, right along I-35. So near Graham Elementary School, just north of Kramer Lane, or just north of Breaker Lane, near Walnut Creek Metropolitan Park, River Oaks Elementary School, Westview Middle School, St. David's Hospital. And there's, you hear another loud clap of thunder just off to the east of the KVUE studio. got a really, really strong storm here just to the east of Dessau. And I'm going to scroll out and show Georgetown and Round Rock here. I want to scroll it back slowly over the last hour so that y'all can see just how big this thing blew up into this very large hail core and this very strong hail core that we've been seeing. And there it is. This is at around 8:43, 8:45, 8:36, then around 8:40, 8:45. This is where things got really dicey here, around 8:50. This is where the hail core got very, very large. But then as we get to around 9, this is where things got real dicey for Round Rock, because at around 9 p.m., that's when the hail core was at its strongest. That's where the radar picked up on 5 inches in diameter of hail, which would be almost unheard of. But then as we head through around 9:10, 9:15, we started to see that pulse up one more time. And then as we head throughout the course of the last few minutes, we're starting to see that hail core slowly, thankfully, start to weaken. But yes, definitely a dangerous evening if you are along I-35, especially in Austin. And there you hear another very loud clap of thunder, and there's the largest hail just off to the east of the domain along I-35. It's about to cross 35 and 183 right now, and once it does that, the hail core has started to weaken. And now this is good news for sure, but we've still got a hail core still around baseball size. But it's still a very, very dangerous situation if you're in North Austin. So you want to make sure that you are still inside, that make sure that you are not outside at any point. Make sure that your car is in a garage or at least covered sufficiently to avoid that front windshield damage, because this is definitely a very, very strong storm for northern sections of Travis County now. It's about to cross Highway 290 here in a moment, and we are going to see that storm make its way through 290 within the next little bit. And I'm going to update the timeline. Again, it's moving south at around 15 miles an hour, and it should reach the airport in about 30 minutes. But DKR in the next 9 minutes, if you're near DKR Texas Memorial Stadium and the University of Texas, it's going to be making its way towards you. So if you have time, right now is the time to make sure that you are in that safe spot and your car is sufficiently covered, because that is very, very dangerous to be driving out on the roads because of that windshield damage you'll get on your vehicle. So you want to make sure you're doing what you need to do to prevent that. Now, we're going to see a wider look here of a lot of those stronger storms that have made their way through over the past little bit. And once it loads up, we're going to show you, because it wasn't really just us. We had places like Waco and Temple, Killeen, on through portions of Milam County, and then eventually the Hill Country. They were involved in this as well. But as we take a look closer to our neck of the woods, there is another severe thunderstorm warning. This is for eastern sections of Williamson. This is until 9:45. However, that storm is staying in Milam, and it doesn't look to be severe warned at this time. But again, we're going to be watching this, especially if you're in Lee County, if you're in Giddings. This is when we could start to see that warning moved into your particular area. So if you're in Lee County, stand by. You might get a warning in a little bit. But now back to us here in Austin, because we've started to see that hail core diminish slightly, but still a very, very dangerous situation. Now, we haven't really gotten a new radar scan yet, but we are starting to see that weakening start to slowly take place. Slowly but surely, over the past few minutes, we've started to see that weakening. But again, this storm does have a history of baseball-sized hail, and the radar estimates are still showing that. So still, you don't want to let your guard down, but obviously, definitely want to make sure your car is in that garage. Now, especially if you're along Rutherford Lane, you've got a little bit of time. If you're just south of if you're along 183, you've got some time, like Anderson Lane, Chevy Chase Drive, Meadowview Lane, near Pickle Elementary School, Atkinson Road, near Camino La Costa, the St. Francis School, Nias Charter School, Wansley Drive, Powell Lane, Georgian Drive, Jamestown Drive. We've got a new scan, and we do see a little bit of strengthening of that hail core moving off to the east. It started to shift a little bit off to the east there. There you see it. I'm going to see what street that is. That looks to be Dessau Road. Yes, Dessau Road, right there by the Unity Center. That's where we're getting the largest hail core now, but it's still not as large as what we were seeing in Round Rock earlier this evening. Now we're going to take a look at NWS chat and see what reports we have, but definitely just a lot. And oh wow, we've got some reports of hail getting up to 3 inches in diameter now, so that's about larger than baseball size. It's about grapefruit size. It's about softball sized. That is a very, very large hail, and also 2-inch hail near Wells Branch. We've got almost baseball size, almost tennis ball size reported near Brushy Creek. And we've also got 1.5 inches in diameter reported near Windermere. And about golf ball size hail near Brushy Creek. And that's pretty much it for the latest we've had. But again, we're still showing baseball-sized hail estimated on our radar. As I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here, we're looking at around 2.5 inches in diameter. So getting close to baseball-sized hail, at least golf ball-sized hail, if not necessarily baseball-sized hail. So you want to make sure, and we're going to zoom this out just a little bit to kind of show you what we're talking about. Looks like if you are along Mopac, if you're west of Mopac, I do want to show you that you are in the clear. If you're near the Austin Country Club, if you're near Lake Austin, hail-wise, you're all right. You're probably just seeing some heavy rain and some frequent lightning. But the hail core we are looking at, it is mainly off to the east now of Highway 35. So we're watching this closely, especially if you live near Montopolis, especially if you live near the airport. You want to make sure you pay attention to this closely. If you live near, say, just off to the west of Garfield, the CODA, Circuit of the Americas, that's right there too. So we're going to start to really watch this, especially as it makes its way to the south. And it's starting to make a bit of an easterly component. So it's looking more so either like due south or maybe around a southeasterly component. So we're going to watch this very closely for you. And we also have our chief meteorologist, Hunter Williams. He's watching this very, very closely. He came in just a few minutes ago. We would like to sincerely thank him for joining us here. And we have the updated timeline now. We're looking at Montopolis, 9:47, Del Valle, 9:52, and we're thinking the airport right around 10. So if you're in the airport, right about 10, if you're near the airport, you need to make sure that your cars are getting in that garage and that you are inside an interior room away from windows. Because remember, you can have window damage from hail just like you can from a tornado. So you really want to make sure that you are taking any and all of your necessary safety precautions. And we're going to look right now, Hunter Williams, if your mic's on or if you're able to see any reports, do you have any more?
I believe, you guys let me know if my mic is active now. I believe they're still working to get things coded. Do you guys hear me? There we go. Perfect. So thank you very much, Jordan. We will, here, what we'll do, Jordan, is we'll get you over on Max 2. You can start operating there and then get that switched over to the wall using the weather stand. Then I'll take things here on Max 1. So here's the storm that Jordan has been tracking over the past hour or so. As Jordan is saying, it has now moved into parts of Travis County, but we've been seeing a lot of the reports from around the Round Rock area of hail, softball size, maybe even larger, and still the threat for hail that could be up to 3 inches in diameter, now moving into parts of northern Travis County. So as Jordan was doing, what we'll do is we will get in and we'll track where exactly the biggest hail is located right now, and it's going to be just south of the Walnut Forest area as of right now. So again, the latest from the National Weather Service, they're saying 60-mile-per-hour winds and hail up to 3 inches in diameter. This is not a situation where we're looking at, hey, maybe a little bit of quarter-sized hail in this storm. Unfortunately, this is a storm that the National Weather Service is calling destructive. And that's why, although there's not a tornado threat here at all, we don't want to be confused about that. You almost want to treat it in the same way where you want to be away from the windows. You don't want that combination of strong 60-mile-per-hour winds and big, nearly baseball-sized hail flying around. You don't want that. So get away from the windows, interior part of your house. That is if you're in the immediate path of the storm as the storm moves in. But we also want to give you a heads up. If you live around the Montopolis area, you've got a couple of minutes right now where if you can, if you've got a car that's somewhere where it's not protected and you have a garage or someplace where you can wheel it into real quick, this is the type of hail, unfortunately, that can cause damage to windshields. This is the type of hail that can cause dents in your car. This is the type of hail that you want to make sure any of your outdoor property is protected from as it is moving down to the south. So right along the 183 corridor right now is where we're tracking some of this. So let's just call out a few places that are about to be impacted or are currently seeing the impacts. We're looking at Wynn Elementary School, Garcia Elementary School, Loyola Lane, the East Austin College Prep at MLK, Texas Empowerment Academy, a lot of the schools around here. These are areas that are starting to get into the hail, and even larger hail could be moving in here over the next couple of minutes. And then as of right now, where the largest hail is taking place is going to be in the Northeast Metro, south of Walnut Forest. So we're looking at Dorothy Johns Triangle, Pickle Elementary School, Rutherford Lane, Ferguson Lane, any of these areas right now. This is going to be hail where, let's actually hop in here and get some of the latest radar estimates. But again, the National Weather Service is saying could be up to 3 inches in diameter. The good news is that the radar estimates are a little bit lower, now looking at about 2 inches in diameter. Now that is still serious business. That would be about hen egg size hail, so a little bit smaller than tennis ball size hail. That is still plenty of hail that could be producing damage there over parts of northeastern Travis County. So let's actually back out the view a little bit and just kind of want to give you a bigger picture of what exactly is taking place right now. We obviously have been tracking the severe storm, which is moving into northeastern Travis County right now. Here's that storm. We've got another storm right now over Milam County. This is also a hail producer. This could also be producing some gusty winds. And then we've got a third severe thunderstorm warning. This is for far southern Gillespie County. The good news is that that warning is now moving south out of our area. These up here are not severe over northeastern Gillespie or northwestern Gillespie and parts of Mason County, but we'll watch them. Okay, new warning just issued for a bigger chunk of the Austin Metro. Let's get you the latest on that. So here are the latest stats on this brand new warning. It will go until 9:45. Oh, excuse me, we're looking at the wrong warning there. Let's get zoomed in on the new one, which includes. There we go. 10:45 is the new warning right now, which has just been issued for a larger part of the Austin Metro. This goes through the immediate Austin city limits into southern Travis County, places like Mustang Ridge, also into Bastrop County, places like Cedar Creek, as well as the town of Bastrop, and then into northern Caldwell County. Let me punch up the latest verbiage here from the National Weather Service. We're seeing if they have updated the hail size they have. So they're saying tennis ball size hail and wind gust of 60 miles per hour. Possible with this storm moving south at 20 miles per hour. So tennis ball size hail, 60 mile per hour winds possible with the severe storm. It's been severe since it was up north of Williamson County, and it continues to roll down to the south. And you know what? We're starting to get impacted by this here at the TV station. We're actually taking a couple of power hits, so hopefully you guys can still hear us. So with this new information, let's do a storm track, and then we will get back in on the latest hail reports for you. So let me cue up this storm track for you as this storm is moving south at 20 miles per hour. So this is going to be kind of the rough timing here. Trace this out about 20. So here's the approximate timing for you. We're looking at Austin coming up here at here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, around 9:47. We are looking at Weberville, 9:57. Del Valle, around 10 o'clock is the approximate timing for this storm moving into your area. The airport around 10:10. Coda, 10:22. Onion Creek, 10:24. 10:38 for Cedar Creek, Mustang Ridge 10:43, and Niederwald around 10:57. Again, this is a storm that has a history of not just large but destructive hail that has been as large as 3 inches in diameter. Now, thankful that has come down a little bit, but it's still producing hail up to tennis ball size right now, so that could be 2.5 inches in diameter. And it also has a history of producing 60 mile per hour winds. So that is where that storm is heading. Let's get focused in on where exactly it is at this current moment. Latest scan on the hail core. And I'll tell you what, if it's possible, could we take router 1 real quick? Just want to show you guys kind of the image as this storm rolls into parts of East Austin from our tower cam. I can actually pull that up here on Max 1. Y'all give me one moment. But you can see the hail core right now, which is just on the northeast side of the metro. Now, here is our tower cam. As you can see, this is in Westlake. We're looking back west, so over downtown Austin into East Austin. You can see just torrential rain, which is moving in. As I got here to the station, we started to get that real heavy rain. And then also the hail core, which is passing on the northeast side of the metro right now and is moving south, where the immediate Austin city limits were going to be clipped by this large hail, which could be up to 2.5 inches in diameter. Again, that is tennis ball size hail. Tons of lightning with these storms. These are very electric storms that are passing through the metro. And these are also storms that have a potential to produce winds that could be as gusty as about 60 miles per hour. We still got Jordan here. Jordan, are you looking at the National Weather Service chat? Do we have any additional info?
We've got quite a few reports. Some of them are from Williamson County. We've got a report of 3.75 inches.
Wow.
This is west of Round Rock, and we've got a 2-inch report 2 miles south of Wells Branch. Let's see what else we have. 3-inch hail diameter 1 mile northwest of Round Rock. We've got 1.5 inches near Wells Branch. We got a 2-inch report near Wells Branch. We've got 2.25 near Brushy Creek, 1.5 inches near Windmere. So, yes, guys, this is hail that, let's just say, was quite destructive, as it seems like. And we'll have to see what pictures come out of that, because that is hail that, it was just like, it wasn't just like penny-sized hail. Like, this hail actually meant business tonight. And we really starting to still see that hail really start to pulse up here. And we're looking at the latest hail core here on Max 2. And just south of 183, we're almost at 2 inches in diameter still. So still golf ball size hail. It's weaker than what it was 30 minutes ago, but still just, it has been a very destructive night up and down I-35 from Georgetown all the way down now near downtown Austin.
Yeah, Jordan, I want to tell everybody it is the largest hail right now is directly over Dell Children's Hospital. Okay, so this is moving through kind of the heart of East Austin. As you're looking at the map here, you can see I-35, right? Parts of the northern I-35 corridor, at least across the metro, are being impacted by this large hail. And this is going to head directly towards places like Hudson Street. It's over Manor Road right now, and Montopolis. I mentioned to you about 10 minutes ago. I want to give you guys another heads up. The hail is starting to move in, so I hope that you have your car, and I hope that you have your outdoor property someplace that it's protected, because we do have hail, which is up to tennis ball size, which is heading south into the Montopolis area as we speak. These storms, as we mentioned, also producing lots of electricity. So you guys in the back also let us know if we have any additional reports of power outages across parts of the metro. What we can actually do here is let's come in and we will analyze, here in a moment, we'll analyze some of the hail and see how many lightning strikes are being detected here. So here's just kind of a sliver of the storm. That's about 111 lightning strikes. We can hear the thunder and the lightning here at the TV station as well. For those of you who are just now joining us, maybe you were enjoying what was a quiet Sunday evening, and then this big loud thunderstorm came in. Here's the situation. We have a severe storm which is right over the Austin metro, especially the northeastern and eastern portions of the metro. Montopolis, you are now under the gun for this hail starting to move in. You're under severe thunderstorm warning until 10:45. The storm is moving south at about 20, so it's going to go into places like Mustang Ridge. This will impact parts of Bastrop County, especially western portions of Bastrop County. So Cedar Creek, I also want to give you a heads up. You're in the path of this storm. A great time right now for places like Cedar Creek. Again, get that car, get anything that's outside that you care about. Get that protected. This is large hail where you want to be away from the windows. This is large hail that unfortunately tonight I think has done damage to a lot of windshields and perhaps has dented some cars out there, and I don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you take those actions right now. And then eventually, if this storm holds together and it really hasn't shown any major signs of weakening, then it's going to be impacting places like Caldwell County with hail that again has been destructive, unfortunately, through much of this evening. We'll get you back into the hail tracker, and let's show you exactly where it is. So here's the hail, which is heading into Montopolis. Right now it is over the 183 corridor. It's over Manor Road, Chestnut Avenue. And again, this is going to cross over the Colorado River here around Montopolis. FM 969, you're being impacted by this. East 38th Street, all of these areas being impacted by hail, which still could be 2 inches or more in diameter. So again, worst case scenario here, we're looking at about tennis ball size hail now. And unfortunately, the worst case scenario was worse than that for parts of Williamson County, where that could have been 3 inches or more in diameter, according to some of the reports we have coming in from the National Weather Service. Now, as far as the other storms out there, again, we don't want to forget about anybody. It looks like now, and hey, this is good news, this is the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have right now. There's a little bit of hail over southern Milam County. That's going to track into northern Lee County. There is hail, but that is not as large as what we're tracking over the metro, and that hail is not severe. But as we continue to get new scans, unfortunately, the hail core remains across the metro, producing hail that could be up to tennis ball size. A few more live looks from me. Here is our tower cam. And here's the live view right now from our Zach Theater camera, where you can see all of the lightning right now across the metro. For folks who are living over western Travis County, parts of the West Metro, you will miss out on the brunt of this storm. Really, let's take the I-35 corridor and then points east. Those are going to be the areas that are being impacted by this. So again, a live view right now from our Zach Theater camera, all of the lightning right there. Jordan, I'll toss things back over to you. Let us know what reports you're seeing from the National Weather Service and what you're picking up on.
All right, and we're taking a quick look from the National Weather Service. We're going to see what reports we have. Shoal Creek near Foster, this is actually a rain report. Rain spiked at 5.7 inches an hour with ½ an inch of accumulation. So really heavy rain associated with it. And we've got a hail of around 3 inches in diameter near Windermere in Williamson County. We've got a hail of about 1 inch in diameter near Austin. Let's see what else we have. We have 1.5 inches near Wells Branch. And we've also got a 3-inch hailstone near State Highway 45 and I-35. It's 3-inch hailstone, so that's larger than, that's about baseball size. And we've got hail, another picture that was sent into the chat. It's about golf ball size, I would say, as well. And we are getting reports that the National Weather Service did confirm what Hunter talked about. Hail size is starting to slowly come down, but still up to tennis ball. It's still possible, especially right on top of Ella Wooten Park near the J.J. Seabrook Greenbelt, just north of MLK Jr. Boulevard, and just east of Airport Boulevard near Meter Road. Let's see where else we have. And I actually got a photo from a Georgetown viewer. Thank you so much to Tom Matten for sending us that photo of golf ball sized hail. And there was actually a bucket full of them, and a couple of his kids actually were holding up that hailstone as well for us to see. And of course, we are going back to that 3 3/4 inch of hail near Round Rock in Williamson County. So yes, still very, very sizable hail. And I would imagine we'll see more reports as this storm makes its march down 183 toward the airport.
Hey, we can come back over here to Max 1. Wanted to show you guys a couple of things. Obviously, hail is the main concern with these storms, but they are also producing strong winds. Fredericksburg, as that last storm just moved through, gusted to nearly 40 miles per hour. And Austin at Camp Mabry gusted to 30 miles per hour. And I'll tell you that where the strongest winds are located in these storms is not near Camp Mabry, it's on the east side of town. So these could be winds that could be between 40 and 60 miles per hour. And that is just not the combination that you want. Obviously, large hail flying around and strong winds. That's why we're telling everybody, although there is no tornado threat with this storm, not something I want you to be worried about. We do want you to treat it almost in a similar way, though. We want you to be away from the windows in your house, right? I don't want strong winds coming in, knocking hailstones through your window and causing any issues there. So get away from the windows, interior room with as many walls between the outside and yourself as possible. Not because of a tornado threat, but because this is not just large hail, but as Jordan was saying, unfortunately, this is hail that has been destructive at times through this evening, especially around the Round Rock area. I'm going through Facebook, going through Twitter. We still have tons of reports coming in of very large, sizable hail that could do damage. Another thing that I want to pass along to you. So here's kind of the big picture right now. Again, we do have we just took a power hit here at the TV station, as you guys are probably seeing at home. Yep. We'll wait 1 second and our microphones will probably come up here. This is what many folks across Central Texas are probably dealing with right now as
to monitor this throughout the course of the broadcast as we need to. Again, we've seen the hail core start to shift back towards the west there. It's now right over Barbara Jordan Boulevard near Dell Children's, St. Mary's Academy, 43rd and 45th Street. It's right on top of the Dayspring Chapel, Airport Boulevard. Let's see here. We got a lot of other things here. Looks like the only warning in our area is going to be for Travis County right now. Looks like the warning over Gillespie has been allowed to expire. There is a special weather statement there for portions of Lee and Milam counties. And we're also looking at an area just off, of course, now this is the one over downtown, excuse me, but yeah, we got Burning Green, we've got the Griffin School, got Dell Children's Hospital, Maplewood Elementary, Lee Elementary, just north of DKR, just north of Dean Keaton. It looks like the hail core shifted back a little bit, and we've got let's see what we got going on here. Let's see, we've got 51st Street. This is right there on Harmon Avenue, and we've got a very large hail core. Let's look at some reports as well. Hail size getting back to around 2.1. Let's see. Let's see what we've got. Let's see. All right, so we've got hail 4 miles outside of Austin, about 1 inch in diameter. Hail size is coming down based on the latest assessment just now. So good news on that front. We've got hail of about 1 inch in diameter, and we've got still severe thunderstorm warning for Williamson that just expired. That was Eastern Williamson, by the way. We've got 1.5 inches near Wells Branch. I think those are reports I've gone through. So really no new reports to speak of at this time. We don't have any reports on Twitter at this time, but we'll see what we've got on Facebook, because I know it's been quite a bit on my particular end. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to check Facebook real quick to see what we've got going on, see what reports we have. I've got several notifications. We've got, okay, let's see. We don't have any reports right now. I haven't really seen any reports on Facebook. We don't have any reports on my end from Facebook right now, but we are definitely watching NWS chat because we've had several reports of some destructive hail, especially Georgetown, Round Rock. But what I can go ahead and tell y'all is that Round Rock, you're all clear. Georgetown, you're all clear. North Austin, you're all clear as well. We're now looking at the Montopolis area, toward Del Valley, toward the Colton area near the airport. The airport looks like it's starting to get a little bit of hail as well, and we're definitely going to continue to watch this very, very closely. We haven't had any messages sent to us on Facebook about this particular situation, but we definitely have just some very, very, we've just had a history of very destructive hail, and we are watching this hail core again. Now, let's go ahead and track it real quick. And we're looking at, let's go ahead and track it real quick. And we're looking at around 50 minutes right now. We got the airport at 10:12, Pilot Knob at 10:14, and Mustang Ridge at 10:37, and then Mendoza just prior to 10:48. So we're gonna watch it real quick, and we're gonna continue to watch this throughout the course of the night. We've got a whole lot. I'm sorry about that. We are dealing with some technical issues, of course. We did take a power hit here at the station to where, we're trying to get some of the computers back on because we've definitely had some very strong thunderstorms move through, and we're at around 1.9 inches in diameter. We got a spotter report now between Burnett and Lamar, quarter mile north of Canning Lane. Hail attention to this closely because we definitely have just some very strong, we had a very strong thunderstorm, of course, move through. But we've got a gauge showing about an inch of rain that's accumulated, but the rain rate is down to just a little over an inch an hour. So good news on that front. And now, here's Hunter, I think. I think Hunter's ready, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jordan. So we can go back over here to Max 1 if we can. We apologize. We had some technical difficulties, as many of you at home may have been taking some power hits there. We took a power hit here at the TV station as well. That's caused some issues with a few of our computers. If it's possible in the back, though, to take us over to Max 1, that way we can control the weather graphics. But as you're looking at here, we still have a very large hail core, which is right now on the northeast side of the metro. So this is impacting parts of I-35 in Travis County, parts of the immediate metro. We're looking at downtown Austin also. There we go, being impacted by some hail, but the heaviest hail right now is what is on the east side of I-35. Hail that still, although it's not quite as intense as what came through parts of Williamson County, could still be up to tennis ball size. So here's the hail core heading into Montopolis right now. So we want to give you a heads up in Montopolis. We've been talking about it for a while. We now have large hail, which is moving into your neck of the woods. What I want to do here is do another storm track for you guys, just to warn everybody who's out ahead of this storm. Then we'll give you more of a big picture look as to what is going on here. So let's do this. We're moving south at about 20 miles per hour. This is going to be a track not just for the rain, okay? We're taking another hit here at the TV station, so bear with us. This is another situation where you might not be able to hear us. But once we come back on air here, you will see that we still have our hail tracker pulled up. Del Valley, Pilot Knob, Elroy, Mustang Ridge, and Lytton Springs. You guys are ahead of this storm, so it's going to be moving into the airport here in the next 10 to 15 minutes, all right? Around 10:14, 10:18 for Pilot Knob, Coda, Southeast Austin, 10:28, Elroy about 10:32 for the hail core, 10:50 for Mustang Ridge, Lytton Springs. We're looking at about 11:05 for you right now. The general trend with this hail core is that it has weakened slightly. It is no longer producing hail that is 3 inches in diameter, but it is still producing very sizable hail, and we know that there have been some across parts of Williamson County, northern Travis County, who are without power as this storm is rolling through. This storm continues to produce lots of lightning as well. Here's a live look from our tower cam right now. As you can see, we are looking across the water into the storm, which is over East Austin right now. Another live vantage point for you from our Zach Theater camera. It's dark there, hard to tell if we're getting hail at any of those locations. Either way, although there could be some smaller hail impacting parts of immediate downtown Austin, the stronger hail is going to be just north of downtown Austin and is going to be impacting parts of East Austin as well. So that is the situation right now as we get you back over to the radar to show you that we still have just this one severe thunderstorm warning right now. We have a number of other storms, one moving into northern Lee County, one that is moving into Gillespie County. Neither of those storms are severe. It is just this one big hail-producing storm that has been causing problems for us for a while now. And I do want to give you a heads up, south of Georgetown and then out around Lake Travis, there are 2 additional storms that are forming. I'm going to keep a close eye on those for you guys. They are not severe right now. They are not producing hail right now. However, these are going to pass over some of the same areas around Round Rock that just got hit with a very sizable hail core about an hour and a half ago. What we can do, though, let's hop into our models real quick, and I just want to kind of give you a quick idea of how things could play out over the next couple of hours. What's happening is we have a cold front which is moving into our area, so that has helped to spark some of these storms. So here's the latest model data, which show the idea is that some of this activity weakens over the next 1 to 2 hours. Our severe thunderstorm watch goes until 11 p.m. Remember that, and then is set to expire. But that does not mean we're done with rain. In fact, new data is showing that we could have some more rain, especially for areas east of I-35 as we go into Monday morning. And then even during the afternoon on Monday, yeah, we could still have some more scattered development across the hill country, perhaps parts of the I-35 corridor as we get into the afternoon on Monday. So I know for folks who just had a bunch of hail move through, you probably don't want to be hearing about additional storms, although we do, of course, need the rainfall. But as this front eases through central Texas, there could be a couple more rounds of storms here over the next 24 hours or so. And this is the big picture as far as the current setup. Our severe thunderstorm watch has now been extended into Caldwell County, Bastrop County, and Lee County. But the only warning that we have right now is the warning which is impacting the immediate Austin metro with very sizable hail that could still be up to tennis ball size in spots. In fact, I'll punch into the warning real quick. Yep, still saying tennis ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. The storm has slowed down a little bit. It is moving south at 15 miles per hour now. So let's get back into the high-res radar here and let's track this storm, which has been causing all sorts of issues. We have just countless hail photos that have been sent in. And by the way, if anybody in the back, if you guys have access to any of those photos that we can show to our viewers at home, we could do that as well. I'm looking through my Facebook here. Around Round Rock, I've just had dozens of hail photos sent in. That hail could have been 3 inches or even more in diameter for those areas. But now we're looking at hail that's probably more along the lines of 2 to 2.5 inches in diameter. And I don't mean to say that the situation is still not serious. It is. That's still large hail. It's just a little bit smaller than the even more destructive hail which moved through about an hour ago. With that being said, let's get back into our hail core now. And this is going to be moving into now the East Metro. And next up, it's going to be the southeastern portions of the metro. So out around Circuit of the Americas, around the airport, around Del Valley. I want to give you a heads up. This is still major hail that is moving right along 183 right now. In fact, we have some of that video for you. Let's punch that up real quick. So here is some of the hail. That looks like, to me, just kind of eyeballing things. That's in Georgetown. That looks like golf ball. This new video, that looks like maybe golf ball to closer to tennis ball size hail. I'm trying to look in the grass there, too, just to see. I've seen some images where literally there's hail that is littering the yard. That is the quantity of hail. Some of the viewer reports that I was getting, they were saying it was 5 to 10 minutes of large hail and very strong winds. Now, after the fact, is it okay to go kind of assess what's going on? Absolutely. But we want everybody to be super, super careful. This is not the type of destructive hail that you want to be running out into the yard with. This is hail where you want to be away from the windows. And Jordan, I see you're looking at some of the wind speeds in this storm as well. What can you tell us?
Okay, yeah. And one thing I'm noticing before we get to that, one thing I'm noticing is that we're starting to see a broad area of rotation there. You see that with those green arrows there. It's a very broad area of rotation as well, but I don't think there may be very much to it. But what I'm going to show with some of those wind speeds is that we're starting to see some strong winds associated with it as well. Not necessarily severe because the velocity vectors look to be around 35 miles an hour around downtown. So still very windy. So as Hunter was talking about, the winds combined with that large hail can really blow that hail into those windows. And I actually saw one photo sent to my Facebook page of hail going through a window in Brushy Creek, the result of hail going through a window in Brushy Creek. And that's the hail combined with those winds. And that's why we tell you to stay away from those windows. Now we're going to zoom in a little closer here because I think we get a better estimate here right there along Lady Bird, and that looks like almost 50 miles an hour near Lady Bird Lake, right there, just right there near downtown Austin. According to the latest velocity vectors, it looks like very strong winds associated with this very large hail core, which right now I'm looking at Hunter's Max 1, and it's passing just off to the north and east of Montopolis, about to cross that Colorado River.
Yeah, we'll come back over here to Max 1 as well. I'm looking at the Austin Energy outage map as well. Latest report is that we have 114 active outages. That's affecting just over 15,000 customers right now. That's Austin Energy. So we could have some folks in Williamson County under other providers that are dealing with additional power outages as well. So we'll continue to work to get some more information on that for you. In fact, we've got that. Can we pull that up for our folks real quick just to show folks what's going on with the power situation? So there it is. Again, we're looking at 15,403 total affected customers, many of those over the Northeast Metro and then over northern Travis County, which is what you'd expect. That's exactly where that sizable hail core passed through. And as Jordan was saying, this is a storm that is still capable of producing winds that could be 40, maybe as high as 60 miles per hour. So that is creating a number of power outages across the metro for us this evening. We'll continue to keep a close eye on that for folks as hopefully crews get out there later on this evening once the storm moves through and they're able to restore power. Let's head on back over here to the radar. We'll show you the situation across the metro where Montopolis, you have a very large hail core which is moving in right now. The National Weather Service, they continue to watch this. We're still looking at about tennis ball size hail as the maximum hail size with this storm. Montopolis, Del Valle, you guys are being impacted. So these areas, we want you just kind of hunker down right now. But if you're a little bit farther away from this, if you live out around Coda, if you live around Elroy, you've got about 5 minutes, okay, to make sure anything that's outside your car, if it's in the driveway and you have a carport or a garage where you can quickly get it taken care of, we recommend taking care of that as soon as possible. You are ahead of this storm and it's going to be moving in here in the next couple of minutes as it moves south at about 15 miles per hour, capable of hail that could be up to tennis ball size, if not even larger. Outside of that, it is the only warning that we have. So if you're watching us in Gillespie County, it could still be pouring rain there. In fact, it is, and there's a little bit of small hail there on the northwest side of Fredericksburg. That storm is not severe. There's some new rain that's popping up over southern Williamson County, around Round Rock and out around Lake Travis. That is not creating any hail right now. And hopefully the atmosphere over Travis County will be a little bit worked over in the wake of this storm. So hopefully we just get some good rain out of it and no additional destructive hail other than the cell that we are tracking right now. And this is tracking directly towards the airport. Just want to tell you that is the biggest landmark there in southeast Austin. Anywhere around there, it's going to cross over the 130 toll. It's going to cross very close to Circuit of the Americas. Hey, I will tell you that is the most encouraging trend that we've seen here over the past 30 minutes or so. It's still hailing. There's still large hail, but the hail core just came down in intensity a little bit. We're looking at it right over 130. Let's see what the latest hail size is here. As finally we're seeing those purples start to go down a little bit. Hopefully then we drop down to blue and hopefully eventually this hail core will weaken. We want the rain. We do not want any part of this destructive hail, which right now is right over Montopolis. So currently we're looking at hail that's about 1.5 inches in diameter. So that would be along the lines of ping pong ball size hail. Earlier this evening, we had hail that was tennis ball size to close to baseball size hail, maybe even larger than that. Now let's hopefully we slowly work this thing down and we get this hail core to diminish, but it is still hailing right now around Montopolis. The hail is about to move into Del Valle right now as this storm is right over the metro. We continue to watch our tower cam. In fact, Jordan, why don't you hop on the joystick right there? Let's swing this back to the southeast. So not really seeing much, if any, rain there in Westlake on the west portions of the metro. But as we pan this view to the southeast, obviously you can see the rain shaft there in the right-hand corner of your screen. Torrential rain. We don't mind the rain. We do mind the wind, and we certainly mind the hail, which has caused damage across good chunks of the metro. We had some of that viewer photos for you earlier this evening. We have had hail of at least ping pong ball size that was widespread, and we've seen some that have been much larger than that, up close to 3 inches in diameter. That is certainly enough to cause issues with the windshield on your car and dent your car. And although the hail core continues to stand down a little bit, it is still producing hail that's up to 1.5 inches in diameter. So that is ping pong ball size right now over Del Valle and over Montopolis. And this is what that storm looks like from a more distant vantage point there. Okay, we will head back over to the radar. And I also want to show you the numbers outside. Again, this is a cold front, so we do have some of that cooler air which is moving in. Austin has dropped into the 70s, so it'll be nice to finally get rid of some of this triple-digit heat. We just wish it didn't come at the price of having to deal with some of this hail. Then here is also our storm outlook for the rest of this evening. As you can see, we do have that slight risk which goes into parts of northern Caldwell County, into Bastrop County, into Lee County, and then a slight risk south of that. So really it's in that yellow zone there. That's going to be the best bet for severe weather. Again, as the storm moves into Caldwell County, Bastrop County, and Lee County, these areas have been added to the severe thunderstorm watch, but the only warning that we have right now is in the Austin metro. So I'll hop onto the wall here just so we can kind of show you what's happening. Again, this is the one warning right now, which is moving south, and it is heading into parts of northern Caldwell County and parts of Bastrop County as well. We get back over to the radar, and we hope that these trends continue with this system where the hail core, want to knock on wood here, it has been coming down in intensity a little bit, but this is still sizable hail, which is over Del Valle and Montopolis, moving south. If it holds together, we're looking out around the airport, we're looking at Coda, perhaps Mustang Ridge, which down the line could be impacted by that. So if you live in any of these areas, make sure you're taking your hail precautions. You're getting everything that needs to be protected right now, as this is still certainly a storm that is producing sizable hail. Hey, I like that. You remember earlier where we had the purple showing up here? Notice the trend is a downward trend. Let's hope that this continues. And if it does, we'll be able to get you back to just the normal newscast here, hopefully in a couple of minutes if this hail core continues to dissipate. But I don't want to lessen the situation for folks in Del Valley or the airport right now. The hail is coming down in intensity. We don't plan on that. We've seen how these can pulse up and pulse down. But generally, as these storms move down to the south, and it's been going on for an hour, 2 hours now, hopefully this continues to pulse down. It moves into an environment that's a little bit less favorable for hail, but it still has a history of producing very significant, even destructive hail. In fact, just to show you the path that this storm has taken, here is the hail history. I mean, look at that. Look at just dozens and dozens of reports as this thing developed up near Georgetown, okay? Moved down to the south, moved into Round Rock, moved into places like Wells Branch, Pflugerville, destructive hail, and then into the northeast, immediate northeastern parts of the metro. Now it's down here around Montopolis and Del Valley. Up here, this was 3-inch in diameter hail, maybe even larger. It's been slowly weakening, but when you've got hail that large and it's just a gradual weakening trend, it can unfortunately take a while for this to kind of spin down. So we have tons and tons of hail reports. Unfortunately, as we showed you earlier, we have 15,000 people. Last report from Austin Power without power. I imagine that number is even larger when you include some of the service providers in Williamson County as this destructive storm moved through. But hopefully now we are seeing a weakening trend that can sustain itself a little bit longer as this storm moves down to the south into parts of southeast Austin. So here's the latest scan. Del Valley, this is going to be impacting you. Let's do another storm track here, and then what we'll do for the folks in the back, we're going to talk about this for another minute or two as this kind of goes down. And then what we can do is we'll get back into our normal newscast, and then we'll check in with Jordan. As usual, we'll have our weather segments throughout the forecast. But for now, the trend here is good as this is coming down in intensity a little bit. And of course, we want to make sure everybody's updated on the other news of the day as well. So as we plan for that, again, we'll just kind of give you the big picture. Here's our warning. It's the only warning that we have right now. It goes until 10:45. It does include places like Cedar Creek, Red Rock, and Bastrop County, and it does go down to northern Caldwell County. These areas, we still want you to plan ahead for hail that could be large, but we hope that this trend continues where the hail size comes down a little bit, and hopefully that this last severe storm can go down below severe limits. Not a guarantee, but we like the way that it's been trending here just over the past 15 to 20 minutes. So that is the only warning right now that we have for our area. Moving south at about 15. So let's do another storm track for you. And this is going to be more of a storm track for the arrival of the hail, okay? So this is not necessarily the arrival time for the rain. This is more so the hail, but this is the latest arrival for you. Moving into the airport here in the next several minutes. So if you live around the airport, I know a lot of communities out there, make sure you're planning ahead for this. Make sure you're inside. Pilot knob around 1026. And when we say inside, there's no tornado threat with this storm, but we want you to almost treat it that way where you get away from windows. The combination of strong winds and large hail, I don't need to tell you guys this is a dangerous combination. We have seen photos and video of hailstones which have been going through windows, and that you just want no part of that. So make sure you are away from the windows. Coda, we're looking at about 1039, okay? Creedmoor, we're looking at about 1048 for you. And then if this storm holds together, next up it's going to be places like Niederwald, about 1110, okay? And then 1116 for Lytton Springs as this hail-producing storm dives down to the south. And I know some of you may be looking at this. It does have a little bit of that hook to it on radar. The outflow has gotten out away from it. So again, we do not see a tornado risk with this. There has been some broad rotation, but really this is manifesting more so in the way of damaging straight line winds that could be in excess of 40 miles per hour. We do not see a tornado threat with this. Hail remains the main concern. With that being said, we will check in on the hail one more time. And again, with the way that this is trending, you guys just let me know my IFB, and I can toss things back over to the anchors, and we'll get back to the regular scheduled programming. We're not ignoring this storm. We'll come back and we'll do our normal weather through the show, but we will be able to go back to kind of our normal programming here as this storm is tracking into Del Valley right now. This is going to be a storm that could produce up to ping pong ball size hail, but now even that blue is becoming a little bit less widespread. So here we go. This is 1.3 inch in diameter hail. That is going to be between quarter and ping pong ball size hail. Trending in the right direction. Hopefully that dark blue goes away, and then we're looking at just quarter size hail. So that would be more of just a run-of-the-mill thunderstorm where it's quarter-inch hail and strong winds. Still a situation where we want to take it seriously, but we just want to get out of that destructive hail that we saw over parts of Williamson County and northern Travis County. But quarter to ping pong ball size hail tracking into Del Valley. Smaller hail being detected now at the airport, and it's going to continue to track in that direction as this hail core moves through. And as we get things organized here on our end, in fact, it looks like we are ready. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to toss things back over to the anchors, and then Jordan's going to be in here in just a couple more minutes. We'll continue to watch this storm for you as it tracks to the south. Back to you guys.
Thank you guys for staying with us. As Hunter just said, we're seeing some very destructive hail in various parts of Central Texas. We will get to those photos here in just a second, but parts of Central Texas saw a light show tonight. Let's show them that. You can take a look. There you go. You see the lightning that's happened over Lake Travis and the Round Rock area. Let's also show them the photos of the hail that we've been seeing. That hail that you see in those kids' hands pounded down on Georgetown today. Tom Madden sent us those photos. You can see their golf ball sized hail. Now, Austin Energy and Encore said they are deploying extra personnel to respond to tonight's storms as outages are happening across the area. Let's take nearly 20,000 customers without power. Most outages appear to be in North Austin, and Encore is reporting a total of 110 outages with 43,000 customers impacted. PEC is reporting 34 outages tonight. And if you guys are seeing storms near you, of course, safely send us photos and videos if you can. It's easy. Just look for the Share With Us button in the KVUE app. It's free to download from the App Store. And I just want you guys to know that we do have a reporter heading out in the conditions safely to see what destruction has happened, if any at all. So we'll keep you updated on the weather conditions happening in Central Texas. Now to some other news. Some University of Texas students say they still can't move into their off-campus apartments. They say management has given them false promises with delay after delay. Now they worry the date will get pushed back once again. KVUE's Kelsey Sanchez talked to students about where they stand today.
The Rise at West Campus in downtown Austin is supposed to be filled with students, but right now it sits empty. That's because some students who signed a lease with a newly constructed complex say they can't move in yet.
They were pretty confident when they were selling it to us that it would be ready in time.
Cole Wyman says he signed his lease in October of last year with a move-in date set for August of this year. However, he was given this email in July saying they weren't going to make the date. Other emails from management explain the reasons for the delays was construction not getting done on time and the inspection process.
Definitely really disappointing. I mean, I feel kind of like at the time I was ignorant for not knowing the risks involved of signing at an apartment that was still under construction.
Leaving him and many others with two options: a hotel stay or finding your own temporary housing with the complex providing some form of compensation.
At this point, I don't know if it's worth the money being homeless. The fact that I can't